Hello, there's something that I want to talk about, which is how I learned to talk. Because I was a stutterer most of all my life. I remember a time going to grade school, and I was probably about 4 or 5, and the teacher pinned a letter on me to take home to my grandmother. And I took it home, and she looked at it, and she just started laughing. She says, "You know what she's saying here? That she wants to know what type of language you're speaking. She asked me, 'Are you Cuban?'" And grandmother just started laughing. And so from that age, I've always had a speech problem. But my mother said it's because she used to leave me with what they at that time called a deaf and dumb man. And he couldn't talk. And so maybe, perhaps I picked it up from him, all the grunts and nah, and all that type of stuff. And because no one in my family has a speech impediment. So I was the only one. And it was complicated because I couldn't talk in front of people without hitting something or banging on something to make my words come out. But when I was by myself, I had no problem talking. I could talk my lips off. But around people, I just couldn't do it. All through high school, I had a speech therapist that would work with me to try to get me to feel comfortable and relaxed and able to talk. But I still had a speech impediment. And it only seemed to get worse. Never could talk to girls because I didn't have the gift of gab. And I would get so embarrassed and I'll feel so confused that I would just quit. And so I would avoid girls. But what I did learn how to do was write poetry. So I started writing girls poems and stories about how I felt because I couldn't express my feelings to a woman. And I got good at it. I had women, "Oh man, look at this, what he wrote me. Oh, wow, wow, wow." But I had a problem with speaking. And when I got about 17, I ran into Jehovah's Witnesses. And I started studying the Bible with them. And one of the requirements was that you get up and speak in front of a crowd about the Bible. And I just didn't know how I was going to do that. And that particular night, they had a meeting. And they had an out-of-town speaker that was there. And he got up and he gave a good sermon. Afterwards, I just wanted to just shake his hand and walk away. And he says, "Well, one day you'll be able to do this." And I said, like, "Oh, no, 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 not me. I won't be able to do this because I stutter. I would be so embarrassed, get up in front of people, and I start stuttering real bad. And no, I can't do that." He says, "Well, I'm a stutterer myself." He says, "But what I do, I lubricate my tongue and practice the material very well, where I basically know it, and I get up and get a talk and take my time to do it. It's just that simple." Well, the words that he told me, I thought about all night long. I got up the next day, I went to the library. I got every book there was on stuttering, how not to stutter, on how to speak, how to talk, how to communicate. I came out of the library with a whole stack of books. And I practiced every day in front of the mirror because I really wanted to talk and communicate with everybody around me. And first thing I found out that I was breathing wrong. Nobody never told me that. You breathe inwardly and you talk as the air is going into your body. I was doing it the opposite way. No wonder I couldn't speak. And there were certain words that I just could never say, like the word thread and tread. I didn't know the difference between them. And there was other words. I would listen, but I couldn't make out what the difference was. But I started learning then how to do that. And another thing I developed, after I learned how to breathe in, I also learned how to sing. I couldn't sing before. I meant to sing on the road to heaven. See, I couldn't sing before. But then I learned that I could sing a little bit, you know? And also I learned how to use my hands. Instead of hitting something, I learned how to use my hand like, you know, I'm speaking like sign language, how they use their hands. But I use my hands to force my words out and to slow me down and to talk. So I learned how to talk with my hands. You see, then I learned how to control my breathing and everything. I was determined. And like I said, I learned also how to write poetry. And that was therapy for me, to learn how to speak better. So if you're having problems stuttering and speaking, I hope what I'm saying will help you, because I wish I had someone to teach me the things that I've learned so I can teach you. And you can overcome stuttering. Take your time, but there's times when I have got excited about things, but I learned how to say, wait a minute, slow down, and take my time. And I would practice certain things I had to do in order to improve on my speech. Now, very seldom I stutter now. And I just wish someone had taught me this stuff a long time ago. Because I remember times I never would put my hand up in class to answer any type of questions. And I would avoid groups of people because I didn't want to be embarrassed and say something that people would laugh about and laugh at me. No, so I avoided everybody. But when I got along, I could talk about them and talk about everybody else. But I couldn't do it while they was around me. But you can overcome stuttering. So God bless you.